Hello everyone and welcome to Canteen Cup. My name is Scott. How's everybody today? Looking out over the land I've been working on Saturday, I did run a tiller through it, but I noticed that my tiller was not really getting that deep. Even walking on it now, it maybe only went through the top 1 or 2 inches in most places. So what I've discovered is this land, after being forest for 20 or 40 years and then driving a 6-ton skid steer and then my tractor all over it, has really compacted the soil and really made it kind of tough. This is a mostly clay soil, and clay is finer grit than dirt, and so it compacts a little easier. And so where I am today is I was able to get a really good deal on that. That's a middle buster, and what that does is that goes below the surface and helps turn up the ground a little bit better, so that maybe after that I can also use my tiller again and start getting the soil ready. It's called a middle buster, and one of the unique things about this is you can use it to harvest potatoes. When the potatoes are ready to be harvested, you basically take the tractor, drive over your potato bed with that plow down below the potatoes, and they just kind of pop right up. So if we get potatoes in this year and next year, I know how we're going to get them out of the ground. But I was going to shoot a video of this thing actually working, but I had my GoPro camera, and for some reason the battery is dead. Maybe last night when I put it away turned on, and I didn't think it was turned on, but I guess it was. And so I'll just have to show you the before and the after. So we'll get back to you. Okay, so we're back, and this is actually the next day. Yesterday I went ahead and tried to middle bust my ground, and it really didn't work so well. When people say they're at rock bottom, that's pretty much where we are. And though in some places the plow, the middle buster, was able to get down into the soil, most of it is just hard soil, very hard to break up. And so I did the best I could, and then I went back again with my tiller and tilled the property, got a little more dug up. However, that's probably about all we're going to get out of this. So what are the next steps? Well, we've got our amendments in the soil, we've got our fertilizer, we've got our lime, so we've kind of stabilized that. And so our next project is going to be, we're going to de-rock the area. In other words, we're going to go out probably tomorrow and pick up a bunch of rocks and get them in buckets and get them moved out of the way. And then we're going to plant the cover crop, probably clover with a couple other things. And what we're hoping the clover will do is it'll dig down into this soil and help loosen it up. In the meantime, it's going to grow up, and then we're going to, what permaculturists will call chop and drop. We're going to cut it and then leave the cuttings where they lay to allow them to mulch into the ground to help build up my soil. And it'll take a couple years. In the meantime, what we'll do is when we get ready is we'll take a section of this area and we'll go ahead and amend it more with compost, manure, and other organic materials, and maybe build up little sections so that we can maybe start having a garden in the fall. This is a slow process. Georgia has very poor soil, and this is an example of it. But hopefully in a couple years we'll have enough good soil we can really start doing things with more of this. It's just going to take time. We're moving along. Okay, so that's pretty much for our soil. We do have some soft areas, and hopefully here in a couple weeks I'll have green things growing, and that'll get us one step closer. Maybe this fall we'll put in a small fall garden and then continue to expand that by adding our own mulch layers while we're creating mulch out in the back. Again, for you guys that are in the cities and you think you're going to move out to the country and immediately have a garden, that may or may not happen for you. It all depends on the property you buy. Typically, the undeveloped properties, kind of like what I bought, is a lot cheaper. There's a lot more work that goes into it, but it's cheaper. And then when you start getting into places where your pastures are ready and whatever, yeah, they're more expensive. So depending on what you end up with, I mean, you might be able to come in and plant the garden. There may be a garden there ready for you, but if there's not, if you're looking for the cheaper way out, you may have a lot of work on your hands, especially if you're in an area with poor soil. We do grow rocks really, really well here. All right, so I've got another kind of announcement coming up, and that is I'm starting to move some of my content over to Patreon. I won't move it all, but I think some of my other stuff, sit reps and stuff, I'm going to move over to Patreon. So I'll continue to put content on YouTube, and I'll start adding some stuff to Patreon, and we'll just see how it goes. I have the channel, I have the capability, I'm all set up, I just haven't done it. And so I'm going to start using Patreon at least a little bit so I can get used to it, because who knows what YouTube is going to do. So that's all I got for you for now. Again, life is good for us out here. We just continue to plod along. So stay safe and stay secure. We'll see you.